Hey there, fellow sports gamblers. It's Steel Picks for you with the 5 best NBA playoff prize picks and Underdog free picks for today, May 5th, El Cinco de Mayo. Before we get into today's picks, let's recap what happened yesterday. And my apologies, fellow sports gamblers. I made a faux pas. I was a little bit too excited to get us some really good picks and didn't check the schedule thoroughly enough. I actually had some wagers where I had Chet Holmgren over 18 and a half points and assists, and I had Marcus Smart over 1.5 free throws, not realizing that game wasn't until today, and actually made those picks for yesterday. So my apologies for jumping the gun there a little bit, but let's do a recap of what actually did happen yesterday. Tyrese Maxey did not show up to the party, scoring only 13 points, grabbing 3 rebounds, and dishing out 2 assists, well below the 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists we said he'd go over. Mikal Bridges got tired of me talking about him and went to work. Went off for 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists, well above the 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists we said he'd go under. And the lone bright spot for us yesterday was Karl Anthony Towns with 1 rebound to go under the 2.5 rebounds we said he'd go under in the first quarter. 1 for 3 is terrible, and a scheduling mix-up to boot. So let's see if we can't put an immaculate ticket together, the best way to wash out this bitter taste and make things happen for us. So first off, we have James Harden over 4.5 free throws. Now, as you can see in the 7 games against the Toronto Raptors, he was able to do that in his last 6 pretty easily, with 11 being the high water mark and 7 free throws in game 2. Definitely opportunities with regards to getting to the free throw line against the Detroit Pistons, as they are a very physical team. Stuart Thompson and Cade Cunningham definitely like to press and play close to the body, and James Harden is going to have to get free. I believe he's going to need to get to the basket to get points. Not going to be a whole lot of 3-point opportunities for him, and he's certainly capable of doing that. And ironically, the Detroit Pistons, although they are a great defensive team, are 29th with regards to free throws allowed, so James Harden should certainly have some opportunities to get to the free throw line. Of course, as you can see, he's played very consistent minutes in the playoffs, averaging 35.2, his high water mark being 44 minutes in Game 6. And with regards to getting to the free throw line, he's been able to get there pretty consistently. As you can see, double-digit free throw attempts in Game 2 and 13 free throw attempts in Game 7. Certainly shooting a very high percentage when he gets there, 70%, pretty consistently 83%, and in his last game, 85%. So definitely think that James Harden is going to be able to get to the free throw line against a very physical Detroit Pistons backcourt. Look for him to go over the 4.5. As you can see, Prizepicks likes this as well, as they have him at -119. Next up, 2.5 steals and blocks. Now, as you can see, he's been able to do this real easy in his last 6 games, going twice that amount in games 2, 3, and 7, and over that amount in blocks in 4 of these games 2, 3, 5, and 7. So certainly think that there's a great opportunity for him to do so as well against the Pistons. And the front court of the Pistons, when you're talking about Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, they tend to be pretty stiff. They play a lot with their back to the basket. And when they are facing the basket, they're trying to go for the slam dunk, which is certainly up our alley, because Jared Allen will be able to either steal or block, and certainly more opportunities than not to do so. And as you can see, again, that favors us, the Detroit Pistons, and steals allowed 23rd, and blocks allowed 28th. So more opportunities for us with regards to that from the stats and analytics standpoint. And then when you see the minutes that he is going to play in his last 2 games, over 33 minutes in Game 6 and 33 minutes in Game 7. And also not getting into a lot of foul trouble. As you can see, never really having to be out of the game. And as a matter of fact, in Game 5, he had no fouls. 2 fouls is not really something that we're going to worry about. As you can see, that's what he had in Game 6 and Game 7. So certainly think that he's going to be on the floor to get some blocks and some steals. And Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart will certainly give him opportunities to do so. Not to mention the other players that'll be slashing and trying to get to the line as well. I believe Jared Allen's going to have a big game with regards to steals and blocks. As you can see, Underdog likes that as well, as they have him at minus 120. Next up, we have Tobias Harris, the hero of Game 7, over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. As you can see, he has done this in every single game of the playoffs, starting out with the 26 and ending, 26 points, rebounds, and assists, and ending with the 41, with the 30-point game to close out the series against the Orlando Magic. It certainly looks like Cade Cunningham has found a secondary scorer he's been so desperately looking for, and Tobias Harris has definitely been able there to seize the moment and grab his opportunity. As you can see in two of these games, in games 2 and game 6, he had double-digit rebounds. So certainly an opportunity. 20 and 10 doesn't sound at all unfeasible. And with regards to you throw in some assists there, the over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists seems very likely to me. With regards to points allowed, rebounds allowed, and assists allowed, the Cleveland Cavaliers are pretty much middle of the road. When we start looking at the minutes for Tobias, playing pretty consistently, about 32 minutes a game. The high water mark being game 3 against Orlando, where he played 38.5, and then game 6 he played 38.2. Game 7 he still had his 36, so that was favorable for us. With regards to field goal attempts, you can see the last 3 games, 18, 20, and 18, so he's definitely putting them up. Shooting a pretty good percentage as well, 50% in game 5, a little bit under the mark in game 6, but right back at 61% in game 7. Is he getting to the free throw line? He certainly is, not as much as we might like, but as you can see, the high water mark being 9. In game 5, he got there 7 times. Not a whole lot in game 3, but he did have it cooking, so not a whole lot of reason to get to the free throw line, because he was red hot from the 3-point range. As you can see, he had 2 for 7 in game 6, so he was taking the shots, not making them. But in game 7, he came right back and was making them just fine. 71%, 5 for 7. So definitely like our opportunities there as well. So Tobias Harris over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And as you can see, Novig likes this as well at the minus 112. And as a friendly reminder, when you sign up with BETR using my promo code WINCASH, you'll receive 2 anytime tokens worth up to $100 each. And when you sign up with Novig and use my STEELEWINS promo code, spend $5, you'll get an extra $50 bonus. Just more cash to make wagers and make money. So good luck with that, everyone. And last but not least, we have the aforementioned Jalen Duren under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, as you can see in the Orlando series, he was only able to do this the one time, the 15, 15, and 3 in game 7. The closeout must win or go home. He definitely showed up and showed out, so hats off to him for doing that. However, this is a much different team in the Cleveland Cavaliers with a much more formidable front court with Evan Mobley and the aforementioned Jared Allen. So I think that he's going to struggle to get points, and I don't think that he's going to have nearly the rebounding opportunities that he had against the Orlando Magic. This is not Wendell Carter and Paolo Banchero. No disrespect to the Prince of the 206. But this front line is much heavier with regards to getting rebounds and boxing out. So I think that Jalen Duren won't necessarily have his way from the rebounding perspective. And as you can see, even against the Orlando Magic, who were not a great rebounding team, he had single digits in 6 of the 7 games with regards to rebounds, and never really been known for his assists anyways. Less than 5 in almost every game here, as you can see. The high water mark being here 4 assists in game 2. Not really seeing him dishing out the ball a whole lot, getting others involved. So not going to have to worry about his assist total too much. We're really going to concentrate more on his points and rebounds. And I certainly think that the front line of the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to give him a little bit more of a problem than he had against Orlando. With regards to minutes, he's going to get his minutes, so that's not something that we can hang our hat on. With regards to free throws, don't think he's going to get to the free throw line as often, because I think that they're going to play him straight up with regards to Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So I think this 6 free throws in game 7 is somewhat of an anomaly. As you can see, a little bit more realistic is the 2 in games 2 and 3, in games 3 and 4, and the 1 in game 6, probably a little bit of an outlier. But I think more like 3 to 4 free throws as opposed to the 6 is what we're looking for. So not a whole lot of points being scored with time off the clock. And field goal attempts, never really been one to throw it up a whole lot anyways. As you can see, the high water marks for the series were 10 in games 2 and 3, and even in game 9 where he went for the 15 and 15. That was only on 9 shots. Of course, he made 5 of them, shooting a pretty high percentage from the field when he does put it up, but just not putting it up enough to, I don't think, to go over the 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And as you can see, Novig likes that as well at the minus 118. So to recap, we have James Harden over 4.5 free throws. Jared Allen over 2.5 steals and blocks. Tobias Harris over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And Jalen Duren under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And on the board, we still have Marcus Smart over 1.5 free throws and Chet Holmgren over 18.5 points and assists. And the ticket I put together for today is Jared Allen over 2.5 steals and blocks, James Harden over 4.5 free throws, and Jalen Duren under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's the picks I have for you today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the Steel Picks for You channel. And good luck, everyone.